mentioned that the priority of the government is to give anti-COVID vaccine to the poorest of the poor and for the soldiers and police officers.
The other good thing is that the president also mentioned that he already has the money to purchase these vaccines. Could you tell us exactly where he's getting this?
That's what he said last night, Charles. Well, as we all know, the passage of the 2021 budget is still pending in Congress and Senate. So it's very important for the legislators to pass it right away. But just the same, there's already the Bayanihan 2, and the government already assured that there's already an allotted budget for the vaccines. And as we all know, as mentioned by the Finance Secretary before, the sources of income includes the tax collection of the government and the dividends coming from the state-owned company. And of course, the President has repeatedly said before that he is very much willing to sell some of the government properties just to make sure that we have enough money for the COVID-19 response.
Right, talking about vaccines, Maricel, we know different countries are now racing to develop an effective vaccine against COVID-19. Did the president mention any preferences among the vaccine candidates that are now being developed?
You're right, Charles. Well, just like before, President Duterte gave his preference to Russia and China because, as we all know, we have a good relationship with Russia and China. And as he mentioned before, it is much easier to talk to the leaders of these two countries. That's why his preference is with those two countries.
Yes, Maricel, and at that same address last night, National Task Force Chief Implementer Carlito Galvez said that the gradual decrease in the daily number of new infections, of COVID infections, was caused by a certain change in people's behavior. What exactly did he mean by this?
Yes, he mentioned that last night, Charles. Secretary Galvez, being the chief implementer, observed that there's a change in the behavior of the Filipino people, meaning they now know how to follow the maximum protocols of the government, which includes the wearing of face masks, face shields, avoid talking in public, and he actually attributes this kind of behavior to the infomercial done by the government, the left and right information, and educating the people about the importance of of following the protocols.
Okay, lots of nice little tidbits from last night's session, but then we have the Health Secretary, Secretary Duque himself, also discussing the possibility of those contracting and recovering from the virus having developed a natural immunity against COVID-19. Could you tell us more?
Yes, actually, to borrow the term of Secretary Lorenzana, he mentioned that there's a herd of immunity in the country. Well, as Health Secretary Duque explained, we already have more or less 340,000 cases of COVID in the country, and probably one of the reasons why some of the experts are saying that some of the Filipino people who have already experienced COVID have already developed antibodies. But the thing is, there's still a need for further studies to know whether this antibodies is already a lifetime immunity or it will only last for a certain period. So we still have to wait for additional details coming from the studies of the experts.
Maricel, do we have any other important updates from the President and his task force officials?
Charles, I think it's good to take note the statement of the President about the destroying Cebu. He mentioned that he will give directives to Justice Secretary Minardo Guevara as well as the Solicitor General to coordinate with the Supreme Court and make sure that there's a fiscal in charge every time that there are confiscated Cebu coming from PIDEA and the PNP to make sure that there's a confirmation. There will be a trial for 3 times to confirm if these confiscated materials are considered Cebu. Once confirmed within 24 hours, it should be destroyed as directed by the President.
Thank you, Maricel Halili, reporting live from Mandaluyong.